Good morning, student. Welcome to the sixth lecture of unit number 3. In the last lecture, we had a discussion on ethical issues in digital forensic investigation. In today's lecture, we are going to see challenges in digital forensic investigation. So, international cybercrime has now become so extensive. Underground suppliers are cropping up on the dark web, offering easy access to the tools, programming frameworks, and services required to carry out cyber attacks. In the most of the Hollywood movies, you have seen that the criminals use dark webs to conduct cyber attack. So there are basically 6 challenges in the digital forensic investigation. The researchers today says that international cyber infrastructure and data volumes are growing at unprecedented rates, creating a quandary for security experts and law enforcement agencies investigating cybercrimes. Also, cyber attacks can have significant socio-economic impact on both the global enterprises and individuals. Therefore, cyber criminals should be promptly identified and high quality evidences of the attack should be made available in the courtroom. So, what can be done on stem the tide? As cloud computing and the Internet of Things grow more sophisticated, so must the field of modern forensic. Modern forensic methods cover 3 main areas. First one is the stored data. Second area that covered by the modern forensic is that file system analysis. Then network forensic, reverse engineering, which involves inspecting malware samples, traces, network traffic, and log files. Okay, so basically there are 6 challenges that must be addressed if digital forensic efforts are to be effective in combating cybercrimes. Which are those 6 challenges? First one is the explosion of complexity, development of standards, legitimacy, privacy preserving investigations, rise of anti-forensic techniques, high speed and volumes. So let's discuss one by one. First one is the explosion of complexity. So as we know that evidence is no longer confined within a single host, but rather it is scattered among different physical or virtual locations such as online social networks, cloud resources, and personal networks attached storage units. It means that डिजिटल एविडेंसेस किसी सिंगल जगह से फाउंड नहीं होते हैं, वो स्कैटर्ड होते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल इट मस्ट बी फाउंड ऑन योर लोकल सिस्टम in the form of server log files. It must be found on the server systems. Also, some evidences must be found from your social networking sites. So it is not confined within a single host, rather it is scattered among different physical and virtual locations. So for this reason, more expertise, tools, and time are needed to completely and correctly reconstruct evidences. So to collect these evidences, we need more expertise, we need some latest tools and time to completely and correctly reconstruct the digital evidences. So partially automating some tasks has been highly criticized by the digital investigation community because it could quickly deteriorate the quality of investigation. So the technological advances in and proliferation of novel service account for a dramatic increase in the complexity that forensic professionals must manage. Okay, so for the digital forensic investigations, we need some latest technology, some latest tools that can cope up with the complexity of digital evidences or that are able to deal with the complex evidences, complex environment. Okay, so this is about the first challenge, that is explosion of complexity. Then second one is that development of standards. Now, despite technological advances, files are still the most popular digital artifacts to be collected, categorized, and analyzed. Likewise, as I told you, in the explosion of complexity, your data is scattered through the physical and virtual locations like online social networks, cloud resources, server resources, and storage unit. Likewise, these files are also the digitally artifact that need to be collected, categorized, and analyzed. For example, files that must be stored on your computer, there are network log files, server log files, there are some timestamps. So these all types of evidences, these all types of digital data are also need to be collected, categorized, and analyzed. Thus, the researcher community has tried to agree on standard formats, schema, and anthologies, but without much success. Okay, so the researchers, the investigators are trying to deal with this, or are trying to deal with the some standard formats, some schemas of the file system, but they are not that much successful in this area of standard, and that's why it is the second challenge which is found in digital forensic investigation. They add that investigation of cutting edge cyber crimes might require processing information in a collaborative manner or using outsourced storage and computation. So, therefore, core step for the digital forensic community will be the development of proper standard formats and abstraction. Okay, so this is the another challenge. Then next we have is privacy preserving investigation. So nowadays, privacy and security is one of the burning issue. So privacy preserving investigation. So nowadays, people bring into cyberspace many aspects of their lives, primarily through online social networks or social media sites. Everyone has a account on Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, Telegram, and Twitter. Okay, so each one is having online identity, or we can say that virtual identity. So they are more prone to cyber attacks. So unfortunately, collecting information to reconstruct and locate an attack can severely violates users privacy and is linked to other hurdles when cloud computing involved. It means that when we stored our data on cloud, or when we shared our private informations on some online platforms, there are chances that opponent must hack your data, opponent must try to read your data. So the privacy preserving investigation is the another challenge found in digital forensic area. Then the fourth one is the legitimacy. The modern infrastructures are becoming complex and virtualized, often shifting their complexity at the border, such as in fog computing, or delegating some duties to third parties. For example, platform as a service framework. Platform as a service framework found in cloud computing. So the today's infrastructures are becoming more complex and virtualized. So an important challenge for modern digital forensic will be executing investigations legally, for instance, without violating laws in borderless scenario. Then the fourth one is rise of anti-forensic techniques. So defensive measures encompasses encryption technique, obfuscation, and cloaking techniques, including information hiding. So these are the latest techniques for hiding data. So cooperation among international jurisdiction, notwithstanding, investigating crimes and collecting evidences is essential in building airtight cases for law enforcement. So for that, security experts need the best tool to investigate it. As we use encryption, cryptography, steganography for hiding our data, likewise criminals, cyber criminals are also use these techniques for hide their activities, their online activities. So for that, we need security experts, or we need security the best tools to investigate such type of cyber attacks. So digital forensic is fundamental to investigations performed in reality that often tightly coupled with the cyber extension. So modern digital societies are subject to cyber criminal activities and fraud, leading to economic losses or hazards for individuals. And therefore, in the new way of forensic tools should be engineered to support heterogeneous investigations, privacy preserving techniques, and offer scalability. This is the Fifth challenge, which is found in digital forensic investigation area. Then the last one is the high speed volumes. High speed and volumes. So high speed and volumes contains these 6 properties. First one is the density of device deployment. It is related to the properties of Internet of Things and cyber physical system devices and their effects on the modern digital forensic system. So issues are related to acquiring, storing and processing large amount of data for forensic purposes have been causing problems for at least a decade and are now exaggerated by the availability of and widespread marketing of digital information. So the first property is density of device deployment. It influences the resolution of event that took place in physical environment. So density of device deployment is generally related with the physical environment or your physical systems. So the challenge is that reconstruct physical event on the basis of unevenly deployed devices, and it also can vary according to the considered environment. Then second property is related to the type of devices. So type of devices influences the type of information like sensor data such as temperature, humidity, pressure or motion detection, as well as the history of actuator states such as door status, pump pressure or hearing level. So another property which comes under high speed and volume is device type. So there are different types of devices that we had already discussed in the embedded system unit, that is unit number 2. So the challenges are provisions of computer aided, evidence driven and code proof frameworks for the reconstruction of event. So such software should be able to take into account mix and increasing set of devices, for instance by means of plugin architecture. Then second property is related to the location of devices. So it influences the physical accessibility of the device for digital forensic investigation and influences which area of physical environment was covered by the device. So for that, challenge is to develop a cost benefit analysis to determine whether IoT device located in hard to reach area are worth accessing, or sometimes what happens, the crimes are conducted outside of the country or outside of the territorial jurisdiction, and that time it is very important to identify, to access the location of device. Then the next property is related with the recording history. So all available information on an IoT device can be recorded locally or in the cloud. So local storage is usually limited, thus the number of recorded sensor values or actuator states is kept under a certain threshold. So older data might not be accessible. Then the last one is device interfaces. So the interface is used to access evidences, highly influence the amount of information that can be retrieved. Some type of information might not be provided by certain interferences, while others are. So these are the properties of Internet of Things and cyber physical system device and their effects on the modern digital forensic. Okay, so there are 6 digital forensic challenges in fighting borderless cybercrime attacks, cybercrimes and dark webs, like explosion of complexity, development of standards, privacy preserving investigations, legitimacy, rise of anti-forensic techniques, high speed and the volumes. Okay, and these are the properties which comes under high speed and volume challenge. Next is the advantage of digital forensic. So each and every system has some pros and cons. So the advantage of digital forensic, or we can say that the pros or benefits of digital forensic are as, first one is the to ensure the integrity of the computer system. So throughout the first lecture, we have discussed that it is very important, it is very necessary to maintain the integrity of digital evidences. Okay, so integrity means that जो भी digital evidences हम collect करते हैं वो as it is होने चाहिए, उसमें कोई भी modifications, insertion, deletion नहीं होना चाहिए. It means that achieving the integrity of that digital evidence. Okay, so it is one of the advantage of digital forensic to ensure the integrity of the computer system. Then next, to produce evidence in the court which can lead to the punishment of the culprit. After collecting, there are some processes in the digital forensic like collection of data, acquiring data, interpretation of data, that means interpretation and analysis of digital evidences, then presentation of that evidences. Okay, so these are the some steps or processes involved in the digital forensic method. So this is one of the steps, that means to produce evidence in the court which can lead to the punishment of the culprit. It means that after collecting, after analyzing, after interpreting digital evidences, digital investigators have to submit that evidences to the court, so that who is the wrongdoer, who is the culprit must be punished. जिसने भी ये साइबर क्राइम किया है और जिसने जो भी इस सारी प्रोसेस में इन्वॉल्व है उसे पनिशमेंट होनी चाहिए. फॉर दैट वी हैव टू प्रोड्यूस दैट एविडेंसेस इन द कोर्ट. देन थर्ड एडवांटेज इज दैट it helps the companies to capture important information if their computer system or networks are compromised. Now, most of the times, like ransomware attack, it comprises the computer system or networks of the company or individual. And that time, this digital forensic investigation helps the companies to capture the important information. जब भी companies में या फिर individual computer system पे कोई attack होता है या फिर हमारी system hack होती है और any other form of cyber attack होता है, that time digital forensic investigation help to companies and help to individual also to capture the important information. Then next is efficiently tracks down cyber criminals from anywhere in the world. It means that like here we have seen there is a recording history property, device location property and device type property. It means that by accessing the location of device, by recording the history of device, we can easily track down the cyber criminals. No matter where are they in the world, we can easily track down them by using digital forensic investigation process. So it helps to it helps to efficiently track down the cyber criminals from anywhere in the world. Then next, helps to protect the organization's money and valuable time. It completely helps the organization to capture the important information, to find out the criminals and to track down the cyber criminals, also along with the production of evidences in the court that leads to the punishment of culprit. So this complete process is done by the digital forensic examiners or digital forensic system. So it helps the organizations to protect their money and valuable time. Then next, allows to extract, process and interpret the factual evidences, so it proves the cyber criminal's action in the court. It is the same process as second process number 2, that is produce evidences in the court. Cyber forensic investigation method allows us to extract the digital data, then to process that digital data and then to analyze that digital data so that it proves the cyber criminal actions in the court. So these are the advantages of digital forensic investigation method. After that, along with the advantages, there are some disadvantages also. So the major cause or drawbacks of the using digital forensic system is that digital evidences accepted into court. However, it must be proved that there is no tampering. Then second, producing electronic record and storing them is an extremely costly affair. So sometimes digital recorders are huge in size, or there are huge data like terabyte, gigabyte, and now it is the gigabyte. So it is very it is very costly and difficult to produce electronic records and store them. So this is the disadvantage of digital forensic. Then legal practitioners must have extensive computer knowledge. It means that the legal practitioner, the expert, the specialist that are working under the digital forensic investigation process must have extensive computer knowledge. They must be trained in this particular field so that so that they are they are expert in using the latest technology, latest tools for accessing the digital data, for collecting the digital data and processing it. So they must be aware with the latest technology. They must have extensive knowledge of the latest technology. Then need to produce authentic and convincing evidences. So it is the very important step that the evidences that we produce to the courtroom, that must be authenticate and convincing evidences. There is it means that it is very necessary that the digital evidences that we are submitting to courtroom uh, are completely authenticate. There is no tampering with that evidences. That means integrity should maintain with that digital evidences. Then if the tool used for digital forensic is not according to specified standard, then in the court of law, the evidence shall be disapproved by justice. So if there is a tampering with the digital evidence, if or if digital evidences are not authenticate and convincing, and also if the digital evidences are not according to the specified standard, that time these digital evidences are disapproved by the justice of court of law. Okay, so this is the very important disadvantage that is under the digital forensic method. Then the next one is lack of technical knowledge by the investigating officer might not offer the desired result. So legal practitioners must have extensive computer knowledge. If they don't have extensive computer knowledge, if they don't have technical knowledge, they don't have the latest technical and technological knowledge, they don't have expertise in this particular field, it means that they do not offer the desired outcome, or they do not offer the desired result. So it is very important that the digital forensic investigators and examiners must have the latest knowledge regarding the tools and technology. So these are the digital forensic disadvantage. Now the next is example uses of digital forensic. So in recent time, commercial organizations have used digital forensic in following type of cases. First one is intellectual property theft, industrial espionage, employment disputes, fraud investigations, inappropriate use of the internet and email in the workplace, forgeries related matters, bankruptcy investigations, and issues concerned with the regulatory compliances. So these are the examples of digital forensic. After that, the next is eminent cases solved with the digital forensic. So there are some cases which are solved with the help of digital forensic method. So the digital forensic stands the amount of uses or accessing the data on various digital devices. So by following these digital footprints, the investigators will be able to retrieve the data that are critical for solving the criminal cases. So the first landmarking case is Matt Baker in 2010. Now in this what happened, Matt Baker is a Baptist preacher, was convicted of murder of his wife and was sentenced to imprisonment for 65 years. So in year 2006, his wife had apparently committed suicide by overdosing of sleeping pills. Then the suicide was confirmed based on the suicide note left by his wife, and the latter, while analyzing Baker's computer, the search history of Baker's computer had found that he has searched for overdosing on sleeping pills and had also visited several pharmaceutical websites prior to the wife's death. Okay, so by using his computer history or using his log history, the digital investigators found that the Baker is the convicted for the murder of his wife. Then the second landmarking case is Craner Lucia in 2009. Now, the Colonel Lucia of the United Kingdom was arrested based on his internet search pattern. On investigating his laptop, it was found that he had downloaded a manual of 4300 GM to make explosives and search belts. So, when they searched his apartment for further investigation, the police also recovered 81 liter of petrol, potassium nitrate, and live shotgun cartridge. So he had also used his laptop to chat with people via MSN, describing himself as a terrorist or a sniper. And he presented himself as a person who wanted to see Jewish and American people killed. So this conversation were retrieved from his computer and used as a digital evidences in the court against him. Then the third case is that Larry Joe Thomas 2016. Now more than 250 Facebook posts are mentioned as a source of digital information gathered during forensic investigation in the Indian Appellate Court. Now one of the recorded case talks about Larry Joe Thomas, who was wrongly representing himself under the name Sloggett Toby Laro on Facebook. He has a fake account by this name on the Facebook. He posted a photo on his Facebook wall with an AR-15 style assault rifle. And when the investigation on the murder of Rito occurred, Larry was found guilty as the Juarez was shot dead with AR-15 style ammunition. So by using his Facebook post, investigators found the digital evidences from his Facebook post. So investigators also found a bracelet near the crime scene which matched the one that Thomas was found wearing in one of the photo on the Facebook. Then the next one is the Michaela Moon case 2016. A Manchester University student, Michaela is a Manchester University student, gave birth to a baby in her dorm room. Now she immediately donned her newborn in the bathtub but covered it up, stating that she was not aware of it, and the labor pains were felt while taking a bath. So, followed by the baby's arrival. On verifying her digital assets, investigators have found that she had searched on Google uh, for such type of murder. So Moon pleaded guilty to neglect and was imprisoned for the 9 years. And the last case is that Ross Compton. Ross Compton from Middletown was convicted on the grounds of aggravated person and insurance fraud of his courthouse. The incident costed him $4 million in damage. So when Ross submitted fake medical certificates describing his heart illness, the data from his pacemaker served as evidence before the court of law, and the data collected from the pacemaker included his heart rate, pacer demand, and the heart rhythms, which helped prove arson and insurance fraud. So these are the some landmarking cases which are solved with the help of digital forensic investigation process.